Alright, so I've cleaned all the parts. One of the lights went out. Clean the spring. This is how I like to lube the spring. I kind of just push it to the side and brush it down where it's open, and then do the same on the inside, do the same on the inside, and then just do that all the way around. Cleaned out that barrel of the wheel hub, or wheel inner rim, I guess, and applied new grease in there. And this is where I'm going to take the spring with the big tail and line it up with that hole down there. And the way I did this initially on my other wheel, the crappy one, was I had my pliers and I was grabbing it and twisting it to try to unwind it and expand it. And then I'd have to spin it around. But I found out that you can just, if you get it centered, you can just push straight down on it. And, oh, by hand even. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it by hand. But I think, I don't think it's quite in, not all the way at least. Maybe it is. Let's spin it over again and check. Oh, it is. I can hit it with the pick. So that's where the spring tail is. And not sure if that's good to see. But it's in there, it's lined up and in the hole, so that means the spring is good where it's at. And now, this is the axle engagement part of the side of the clutch, I guess. And just gonna make sure that where it hits the spring is all lubed up. You can see where it's all scratched too, and then where it hits the inner part of the rim. It's not really a bearing, but a bearing surface. Get the shoulder there as well, because that's going to interface with down here, which I've already lubed. Alright. Now this is going to need some persuasion to get around that spring, I've found. I don't think I'll be able to do that by hand, and I'd rather just rubber mallet it. And you'll kind of feel when it's bottomed out. You'll see it'll stop moving with no matter how many more taps you take. Don't go crazy on it, because you don't want to break any of this plastic molding. That would be significantly harder to get. Although, it makes me wonder, pretty sure you could just attach the spring from this one onto a right-hand wheel, and you'd have a clutch. It's just the spring that determines the direction of it all. Anyways, I'm blabbering. Just gonna wipe my hands real quick here, and clean off these. This is why it slips, is when these are all greasy or dirty, it doesn't let it get good contact with the ring. Same with the holes in the ring. So those are nice and engaged. Can't wiggle my way out of those holes there, like so. If it'll let me. I guess it won't. What the heck? Yeah. Did it slide back down? I think it did. What the heck? Alright, well, I'm off, so I'll just... This is the same problem I had the last time, and that's why I have this big socket. It went over the inner shaft of that, the small diameter shaft of that axle, and it just hit the snap ring, and then I just took my mallet and went whack. And now the snap ring is fully engaged. Of course, another way you can do it is like set something under this on the table so it keeps pressure on it, because it's just sitting on the rim and not sitting on this. And with that side engaged, all that's left is this one. Now You might want to try to pack some more grease in there. It might be easier now than it is later. But I'm just going to go ahead and put the snap ring on. Gotta pry this one up a little bit. Once that snap ring is on, snapped in place, you're okay to flip it back over because it's retained on both sides. It can't fall out, it can't shift. And now we're going to put this, the axle lock on. Now, all you need to really do to clean this is get a rag, wipe down the metal surfaces of it. This one's a little gritty, so some ISO wouldn't hurt, but I'm not worried. And then I just take what's left on this brush and spread it around. Get all the metal there, because that's where you'll get the most wear, is metal on metal for the axle engagement. Get the spring engagement. And you can even put some down here on the sliding surfaces. Spring first. Line up. So you kind of line up the spring while pushing the button in towards the center. And remember, this spring wants to shoot out. So you push it in, and now that's where it'll stay. Now if I were to pick this finger up, there's a chance it could like pop up at me, so I just keep my finger there until, and I'm going to take my finger away, even though I shouldn't, because I forgot to clean this. Now that just goes over top of there. Now you can put some grease on the underside of this a little bit, because it does slide along there, but you don't need much. Yeah, find these little black screws. Thought they were magnetic. They're a little tricky. They don't have a point, really. And with that, the button is retained. It's not going anywhere. I'll just put a little bit of grease in here in case the axle ever contacts it. Can't hurt. And then with that, we can put this cap back on. Now, when I did my other one, I found there was only one way to put this on. Now, if the button's facing your left, this kind of pointy arrow, you want it to face upwards to that button. Any other way, and it just wouldn't seem to want to click in. Easy. Now I think we're on the final step, yeah, which is just this cap. And then you have the three metal screws. press down on it, make sure it's seated nicely, because it'll keep a little bit at least of dust out of the clutch mechanism. And then we'll go test it out. The very simple way to test if your wheels are seized or if you've done the fix and if your fix is working is by putting your wheels on the inner groove or divot of the axle, so they're both engaged with the motor and the drive axle, and picking one side up, spinning it forward. If it spins forward freely, it's not rock stiff, or trying to spin the other side, it's on the right side and it's working properly. Same to the other side, spins freely. And there you have it. You've either tested if your clutches work or you've fixed them. Hope that helped.